The battle of the century right here. The battle of the two brothers. The banished Shadow Poliwrath against the shiny Politoed. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP. And if you're a returning subscriber like Arena Go Sal, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are hopping into some Ultra Premier Cup action, so taking a bit of a break from the Master League content. The battles today are submitted to the channel by Jamie Finn 1415, who does also have a YouTube channel of his own, so definitely go check him out if you enjoy these battles. There will be a link up here as well as in the description below. So the team being featured today is a very spicy one, a triple Shadow team consisting of a Shadow Venusaur, Shadow Poliwrath, which I am very excited to see how this thing performs, and a Shadow Muk in the back with the recently buffed Poison Jab as the fast move. Now this team, as spicy as it looks, obviously it's going to have a lot of weaknesses, and just looking at the front two Pokemon, it's going to be very weak to flying types, but in particular, this team is going to be extremely weak to Psychic, so it is going to have a lot of weaknesses, but when you match up off teams with this kind of spice, it always feels really nice. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so let's get back into the battles right here. It took the weekend off for Eevee Community Day. Didn't really get anything too special. As far as shinies goes, I didn't really get anything good. Non-shinies, got a couple of good Eevees. Hope it went well for everybody else. But let's hop into the battles right here. You see a Venusaur lead into Machamp. Pretty positive here. I mean, let's talk about the team in general for a second before we really dive deep into these battles. You can see Venusaur lead here, Poliwrath in the back, and Muk. So this isn't a Alolan Muk, so this whole team is basically going to be extremely weak to Psychic Pokemon. And then the front two Pokemon, Venusaur, Poliwrath, also going to be very weak to flying types. So there is a lot of flaws in this team as far as weaknesses go, but let's see how he comes out of this matchup here. Gives up Switch Advantage in exchange for the Shield Advantage, and the Machamp going for the Rock Slide here. Gonna try and farm down with the Poison Jab, which he is able to do, and we see a Snorlax in the back. So swaps out into Poliwrath here, and the opponent is staying in. They're gonna throw a move here. Likely gonna be a Body Slam, yes it is, and Poliwrath lets that go through. Gonna build up to the Dynamic Punch. The opponent swaps out into a Lapras, so absolutely perfect for this kind of team comp right here. Poliwrath definitely has the ability to sweep here with a shield advantage. This should only be a Surf, so I'm going to let this go through. You can see it's only tickling the Shadow Poliwrath, even as a Shadow able to withstand that damage. Going for the Dynamic Punch here, which is going to take out the Lapras, and now the Snorlax going to come back in. Is this Dynamic Punch going to be enough to take it out? Bang! No, it's not. The Snorlax swap out into the Muk, gonna throw this Thunder Punch, and now this is going to be enough to take out the Snorlax. Very well played there. You can see they gave up Switch Advantage at the beginning, but did maintain a Shield Advantage at the least coming out of that match. So, gonna hop into the next battle here. We have Venusaur into Dragonite. Absolutely horrible lead to see here. Any flying type is actually really bad for this team. So let's see how they play this out. Get met by an Empoleon here. So Empoleon, not too bad for this team in general. Its worst matchup is probably going... Muk is probably going to be the worst matchup on this team against the Empoleon, but it can still hit it for super effective damage with the Thunder Punch. And then Venusaur and Poliwrath both have very good matchups here against the Empoleon. So going for another Thunder Punch right here, and the opponent is going to shield, so they're looking to maintain switch here, which makes a lot of sense. And now let's see if they're going to come with the Venusaur. Yes, they are. So a Drill Peck's going to come through here. Is Jamie going to shield? Yes, he is. And hopefully can take out this Empoleon. Going for an aggressive farm down here, but able to take it out before it gets to another Drill Peck here. That is huge. Escavalier in the back, and here comes the Dragonite. So Poliwrath going for the Ice Punch right here. Not sure how much this will do. Definitely expect it. Oh my goodness, the Dragonite lets the Ice Punch go through. So there's the win con. The Escavalier coming back in, going for the Aerial Ace, super effective damage. This is not looking too good still for the Poliwrath and the Venusaur, but gonna land this Dynamic Punch, gets the shield, and the Escavalier can't really over farm here because it is in danger of being hit by another Dynamic Punch. So I'm gonna throw immediately here. Aerial Ace is going to take out the Poliwrath, and here comes the Venusaur. Now Venusaur is absolutely low on energy because remember it did farm down in Empoleon. So the first Frenzy Plant comes through, going to need at least 3 it looks like here, but can the Venusaur actually outpace the Escavalier to the third Frenzy Plant, which it needs to win? It's going to come down to the wire here. Venusaur gets to the move, going to be able to take this game. A very impressive win there against a very difficult lead in the form of a Dragonite. So very, very tough match. A very solid win right there for Jamie. Let's hop into the next battle. We got Venusaur into a Gengar, so not a great lead. Gonna swap out into the Muck right here. So it looks like Muck is pretty much the go-to safe switch on this team, which makes sense, performs very well, especially with that Poison Jab buff. And going for the Dark Pulse here on the Kingdra, that's going to get a shield right here. And going to let this move go through. It's only an Octazooka, which the Muck is able to survive, and is going to get to this Dark Pulse right here. So let's see if the Kingdra wants to shield this up. I'd imagine that they probably will. No, they let it go through and they actually give up switch advantage. Oh, so they're already down to shield, right? So that's a really tough spot there for the opponent. Coming with Gengar, does have an energy lead right here. And going to come in with the Poliwrath. So doing super effective damage here with the Mud Shot. And going to shield up the Shadow Ball. That's a huge call right there. Calling the nuke move. Opponent swaps out into a Sylveon. So this is looking really good right now for the Venusaur in the back. Swap out. And let's see if this Venusaur, or sorry, if this Sylveon is running, what's the move? Side Shock, I believe, is the community move it received. So could get to it a bit quicker, but you can see right there, lets that go through, saving the shield for Gengar. It's probably gonna have to shield up this Frenzy Plant here though, because coming from a Shadow, still gonna be doing a lot of damage. Does get the shield right there. Gengar, of course, extremely glassy. And this should be enough to take out the Venusaur. They let it go through. Gonna come in with the Poliwrath, which has an Ice Punch ready, saving that shield right there in case the Gengar was loaded up on back-to-back moves. Takes it out with the Ice Punch. Poliwrath wins another game. Off to a 3-0 start with this very, I mean, it's a pretty risky team to run, but pretty solid start right here. Venusaur into an Umbreon in the next matchup right here. And this is a pretty neutral matchup in general, but I guess it could flip in Umbreon's favor now with the possible Psychic. And there is the Psychic, so Venusaur calling the shield right there. Don't think Psychic would KO, but it'd probably do at least over 50% of the Venusaur's health, being a Shadow right there. Going to outpace here to the Frenzy Plants. And Frenzy Plant still does a lot of damage, so it actually gets both shields. That's pretty big, and the Venusaur at this point might just consider losing this match. See, that's well over 50% actually. Don't think the Umbreon can actually farm down here though, so it's going to have to throw energy once again. Going for the Frenzy Plant. And yeah, the Umbreon's forced to throw the move here. The Venusaur's gonna let this go down and then come in here. Could come in with either one, to be honest. I'm gonna choose to come with Poliwrath here. Probably can't farm down, so I'm going to throw the Ice Punch there. Very nice counting to force the CMP tie. Remember, the opponent is out of shields at this point. Oh, but it's not enough to KO, so Umbreon's super thick. Gonna get off this Psychic. That does big damage to the Poliwrath. We're probably hoping it was only a foul play right there. But here comes the Sylveon. It's a Dragonite in the back, so this isn't an optimal matchup. However, with the shield advantage, maybe Muck could pull this out. So Thunder Punch coming through. Shadow Dragonite, extremely glassy. It is running Dragon Tail. Going to shield this up. Should be able to take this out immediately. You want to throw... Oh, able to farm down. Holy smokes, that Dragonite is glassy. I was not expecting to farm down there, but that is pretty insane. And now these Poison Jabs are going to go a very long way in winning this game. And look at this. Muck is actually going to take out the Sylveon without even needing... I mean, the Sylveon didn't even get to a move. That's how crazy that matchup was right there. Wasn't expecting it to go that way, but a very impressive win there against a pretty difficult Pokemon in the back once again. So Lapras into Venusaur. Again, one of those neutral matchups once again, but the Laprases, I believe, in Ultra Premier, most of them run Surf plus Skull Bash, so not as threatening, of course. That makes the matchup a lot better for the Venusaur. We see a Charizard come into the Muck right here. And Poison Jab coming from the Shadows doing a lot of damage. I don't know if you guys are taking that in with the speed of these battles, but that is crazy. And the opponent actually gives up switch advantage there, which, well, I guess it doesn't really matter because they had already lost switch in the lead anyways. So they didn't want to play for switch, which makes sense. Going for the Dark Pulse here on the Gallade. And Gallade's a bit of a problem here because, of course, has a very good matchup against this entire team. So let's see how Jamie plays out of this one here. Going for the Frenzy Plant against the Gallade. Let's see if the opponent wants to shield this up. They do shield, so now they've burnt both shields. Venusaur gonna let this go through. This close combat, actually able to survive, and here comes the Lapras. So going to let this go through, and now the Lapras should be on Giant Energy. Poliwrath should be able to overfarm here quite a bit, and the Lapras can't really threaten it with the Surf, right? So you could definitely let one of these moves go through, overfarm a bunch here on the Poliwrath, and then throw the Dynamic Punch, which should be enough to take out the Lapras right here. Dynamic Punch, yes it is. Gallade coming back in. Dynamic Punch isn't going to be doing too much, but is it going to be enough to take this game? Still has the shield, of course. Gallade going for the farm down. Poliwrath is able to get to the Ice Punch, enough to take out the Gallade, wins that game 5-0 in set number 1 with this team. So let's hop into set number 2. Very impressive to go 5-0 with this kind of team, especially when they have these kinds of weaknesses. A pretty tough lead here in the form of Galvantula, so let's see how they're going to play this out. Nice little bit of go battle lag, you love to see it. And here comes the move, expecting a lunge at this point. Yes, it is the lunge, so that's going to lower the attack. And Venusaur actually CMP tie, not very good, because now at this point, oh, they go for cross poison though, which is very interesting, because now they're actually not getting the debuff, which means that sludge, but they let it go through. Holy smokes. And now the Venusaur gets to the Frenzy Plant. The Galvantula can't shield at this point because they're going to get farmed down here. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. Possibly a misplay there from the opponent, but you're going to take that for sure. They come in with a Jellicent, which is absolutely insane. They may be extremely weak to Venusaur in the back here, but going to force the Jellicent to throw a move here. You still do have the Muck here, so could let the Venusaur go down here and just hope that whatever is in the back, Poliwrath could deal with it. So gonna take a move here. Remember, this is only a pure poison. This is not a Alolan Muck, so Shadow Ball is going to be dealing a lot of damage, as you see. Going for the Dark Pulse here on the Jellicent. Is this going to be enough to take it out? No, the Jellicent holds on, swaps out into a Politoed, so they were indeed very weak to the Venusaur in the back. But this is the battle of the century right here. The battle of the two brothers, the banished Shadow Poliwrath against the shiny Politoed. Doesn't want the smoke. The opponent realizes that you have to bow down to the Shadow. And in the battle of the frogs, apparently the wrath is greater than the toad. So let's hop into the next battle. We got Venusaur into Machamp. So we went from the battle of the frogs to the battle of the shadows. One swaps out into Muck, trying to catch the move right here, and banks a lot of energy on that Venusaur. Here comes the Poliwrath. Acid Spray comes through, doesn't shield that, so it's a very good no call right there. Going to be going for the Dynamic Punch. And with this lower defense, we'll see how this match plays out at this point. But going for the Ice Punch right here, actually a CMP tie, isn't going to shield. Another Acid Spray right there, so the opponent is getting a little bit ballsy right here. Going to undercharge the Ice Punch, look to get a little bit more farm. Opponent actually does shield. Can the Poliwrath get to the move? No, going to get farm down here, so does give up switch advantage, and the Muck should be loaded on energy here. So probably going to be another Acid Spray. That's going to lower the health on this Muck, and we'll see what the opponent chooses to do here. Coming in with a Snorlax, as we see some more lag. Swaps out into the Venusaur right here. Loaded on energy, as we said, has a 2 shield advantage, so definitely still some play in this game. Machamp comes back in, so the opponent here going to try and power their way through here, but they're gonna have to start using some shields. Venusaur gonna let this go through. I was gonna say probably want to shield it up, but apparently Jamie knows better. No shields, calls the cross chop, survives and gets to this Frenzy Plant, takes out the Machamp. Snorlax comes back in, and okay, never mind. The opponent doesn't want the smoke. The Muck was about to 2 shield flex right there. Snorlax didn't want any of that. Let's hop in to the next battle. We got a beautiful lead. Venusaur into Swampert, instant swap out into the Umbreon here. So Venusaur going to throw a Frenzy Plant, and then I imagine swap out into the Poliwrath. No, gonna come in with the Muck, okay? So I guess either one works here. Going for the Last Resort, so I guess with Last Resort you would have preferred going in with the Poliwrath, but again, it's a total guessing game at this point between Psychic and Last Resort. Both movesets have play in the Ultra League, so it's going to be interesting to see how this meta shapes out in the coming weeks, especially in Season 9. But the Muck right here going for the Thunder Punch. Umbreon lets that go through. And at this point, you have to shield. You want to maintain switch, of course, with the Venusaur onto the Swampert. Don't want to lose that. So I like the shield right here. And the opponent probably comes back in with the Swampert, I imagine, yeah. And swaps out into Poliwrath here, preserving. The Muck doesn't want to get farmed down there by the Swampert either. And going to let the Earthquake go through, does heavy damage but able to survive. Going for the Dynamic Punch right here. Let's see if the opponent wants to burn their second shield. They do not let that go through, dealing huge damage. Poliwrath gets to the Ice Punch. At this point, the Swampert is very threatened. They decide to let it go through, get farmed down, and it is a Talonflame in the back. Holy smokes, this game is not over yet. going for the ice punch right here. Opponent lets that go through, swaps out into the Venusaur. Oh my gosh, shields the first flame charge right here, but these incinerates are going to hurt. Here comes the Sludge Bomb. Is the Talonflame going to call the bait? They decide to shield it up. Very well done by the opponents. They're not going to try and farm down here. It's up to the Muk to come in here and land the move to win this game. Going for the Thunder Punch. Is this going to be enough to take out that Talonflame right here? It's absolutely loaded. Bang! There it is. Talonflame gets taken out. Absolute insanity there. A crazy matchup and a very impressive win. One of those games where you win the lead so hard and then the back Pokemon gives you so many problems. Very entertaining battle. Venusaur into Obscene right here and sneaks in the extra Vine Whip. So let's see how they play this match out. Decide to let the first Night Slash go through, building up close to 2 Frenzy Plants, going to throw the first one, and it lets that go through. Venusaur going to lose CMP here. Actually didn't even click CMP, they threw the extra Vine Whip instead. Very nice play, and commits to the farm down. Very heads up play there by Jamie. Really like that play. Loaded on energy. Talonflame comes in. Sludge Bomb is going to hurt, especially coming from a Shadow. Does get the shield, and here comes the Muk. So the Muk here, Brave Bird would probably KO, but they go for the Flame Charge. Still does a lot of damage, and the opponent swaps out into Venusaur. A beautiful catch there on the opponent's side. Very difficult to catch moves with Incinerate, so that was very nicely done. Muk is going to go for the Dark Pulse right here, but again, these poison jabs are still chunking away at this Venusaur, and it is forced to throw energy as a result of that. So now let's see how he's going to play this. I'll probably come in with the Venusaur here, I'd imagine. Yeah, and just throw the Frenzy Plant. No, going to shield up here, maybe commit to the farm down then, I imagine. Opponent swaps out, so here comes the Sludge Bomb. This should get the second shield from the Talonflame, unless they were expecting to catch the move, which I think they were expecting to catch the Frenzy Plant right there. Brave Bird will knock out the Poliwrath, but it's going to lower the defense on the Talonflame. Have to come in here and farm down, and now you need 2 Frenzy Plants to win this game. Shadow versus the regular, gets to the first one. Are they going to get Vine Whip down or get to the next Frenzy Plant? This is getting so tight. Gets to the Frenzy Plant, wins CMP. Absolute insanity here in the Ultra League Premier Cup. That was an insane battle. Holy smokes, that was very impressive. We're seeing some great plays here with this triple Shadow team. Venusaur into Roserade. This is a pretty interesting matchup right here. Catches the Weather Ball onto the Muk. Very nicely done. And the opponent is staying in here. Are they going to throw a move? No, they're going to swap out into Kingdra. So Muk going to go for the Dark Pulse. Muk is pretty loaded up on energy at this point, so might force a shield out of the Kingdra now because of that. Probably wouldn't get to the Dark Pulse there, so just going for the safe play. Gonna go for this Thunder Punch, and does get the shield. That's very nice. Now the Kingdra is going to farm down, and you can probably come in here with the Venusaur and commit to the farm down. Maybe shield this up in case it is an Outrage. No, decides to let it go through, and it's an Octazooka bait. Does get the attack drop there, but fortunately the opponent isn't able to get to a second move. Now you did save the shield here, which is very smart because of course the Roserade wins CMP tie here. So if you burnt a shield on the Kingdra, you'd have to burn another one here on the Roserade. So things to consider in the moment. Very difficult to keep track of those things, but very well played here by Jamie. Goes for the Sludge Bomb. The Roserade taking heavy damage and swaps out into a Milotic. Oh my goodness. Thankfully, Poliwrath has a pretty solid matchup here. Surf isn't doing anything. Gonna look to build to 2 Dynamic Punches, and I think 2 Dynamic Punches coming from a Shadow should be enough to take this game. Although Milotic is pretty damn tanky, as you see right here. Dynamic Punch coming through. Bang! There it is. Milotic catching the smoke. Gonna shield this up and just farm down with the Mud Shot. Poliwrath capping off a 10-0 run. Very impressive battles. Thank you for the submission. So those were the battles featuring a triple Shadow team in the Ultra League Premier Cup. Shadow Venusaur, Shadow Poliwrath, and Shadow Muk. A huge shout out to JamieFinn1415 once again for the submission. Definitely go check out the link to his channel in the description below. Now, despite what you saw in this video, I definitely do not recommend running a team like this. It has a lot of weaknesses, and it is a very difficult team to run, especially the higher up in rank you get. With that said, very entertaining battles. Really enjoyed shoutcasting them. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.